So I would love to call myself as a farmer because many people call me as a good speaker or expert and invite me to world over. But I like and love to be the voice of shrimp farming. So regarding this presentation, it's a very bold topic. I know, yes, overproduction in shrimp farming, good, bad, or ugly. At the end of the presentation or during the course of the presentation, you will definitely come to know why I'm saying good or bad or ugly the entire shrimp farming. Because I have traveled a lot to almost each and every shrimp farming nation, and I have very lucky to see the entire shrimp farming and learn from them. So this presentation was recently presented in Ecuador also. Okay, why the overproduction can harm to the entire industry and the entire the value chain. So most of the people now, whether it's last year I was also in Iran, and I am also saying that why overproduction can harm the entire industry, especially to the farmers, because overproduction means definitely there will be oversupply. A lot of shrimps will be flooded into the market, and definitely farmers will not, the producer will not be into an advantageous stage. So if you see why I'm saying that, you can see the present status. The world is already producing 6 million ton. 6 million tons shrimp is already been produced, and the two kingpin nations, especially India and Ecuador, is producing. They are the number one and number two producer in the world. And if you see the global traded shrimp, I'm not saying that 6 million ton has been produced, but if you see the global traded shrimp, it is just 2.8 million. And out of that, India and Ecuador together is supplying 80% of the global shrimp trade, which is almost 2.2 million. So that is where I'm saying this is harming the entire shrimp farming nation, because these two countries, even now, even India also, even Ecuador also is facing the problem because of their overproduction. And many people are world over are interested to know what is happening in India and Ecuador, because I'm very lucky that I have been visiting Ecuador from last 10, 12 years, and they have invited me at least 6, 7 times as an expert speaker in their Aqua Expo. But if you see the comparison, India and Ecuador, both have almost, like India has 1,50,000 hectare, so is Ecuador is also having 2,25,000 hectare. But here, the difference, though they are both producing close to 1 million ton, but there is a operational difference is like a day and night difference. If you see the pond size, India pond size is zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.7 and less than below 1 hectare. But if you see Ecuador, the smallest size is 5 hectare and the biggest size is even up to 40, 50 hectare pond. Single pond, I'm talking about single pond. In India, almost with the stocking density and the mode of culture, we can say that we are into semi-intensive. And Ecuador, still 60% are extensive. Now technification is happening, so I will say that 30-40% are into modified extensive mode, and 5-10% are coming into semi-intensive. Average production of shrimp farming in India is close to 6 ton per hectare. So Ecuador is almost like 4 ton. India, we have very less vertical integration because the number of the farmers are very small. No, in the numbers, we are very big, 60, 70,000, but the area per hectareage per farmer is very small. Whereas in Ecuador, the smallest farmer is 500 hectare and the biggest are somewhere about 15 to 18,000 hectares. That's a huge, huge difference. And India is largely dependent upon imported brood stocks, exotic species. And the beauty of Ecuador is that they have developed their own local brood stocks. So that is the very big comparison between India and Ecuador. And this slides clearly shows that, the transformation of farming in past 10 years. You could see India after the introduction of Vanami in 2010, every year, successive year, we have added almost like 100,000 tons of production. And in 2017-18, we have almost touched close to 9 lakh to 1 million ton. So is the Ecuador. If you see Ecuador in 2010 was hardly like somewhere about 100,000 or 125,000 tons. But today you see 2022, 2023, they are almost touching 1.2 to 1.3 million ton. So if you see the India and Ecuador story, they are almost same. They are almost same. And then what are the major factors which is impacting the farmer success? So whatever the knowledge I have is mostly of our India. But if you see the major factors impacting the farmer success overall the world, so I will just rate it, divide it into external and internal. So what are the external factors? Especially it has affected Indian scenario. The first one is definitely COVID. COVID has affected not over India, it has affected the entire world. Then followed by the Ukraine war, then global recession, especially the economy of USA, China, Europe, America, everybody, India, everybody is facing some global issues. But the biggest challenge which has brought to our shrimp farming is the extraordinary growth of Ecuador. Ecuador shrimp farming, especially that 1.2 to 1.3 million ton, has really affected shrimp farming in the entire Asia Pacific region. What are the internal problems? Post COVID or pre COVID, shrimp farming, especially in India, the old disease, the present disease, and the new emergent disease have rattled always has created a biggest blow to the farmer success. So disease is already ongoing. Then post COVID, there is a huge, at least 22 to 25% increase in fuel price, feed price, transportation, cost and freight. Everything has affected farmers because everybody has passed on that expenses to farm. And there is a double shock, that like I'll say double whammy, like already the cost of production has increased by 25 to 30%, and the global shrimp rates have also been reduced to 25 to 30%. So this is a double impact which has directly affected the overall growth and success and sustainability of shrimp farming, largely in India and Asia Pacific. Then, if you really see when I'm talking about overproduction, so what are the reason behind the overproduction? So I'm a farmer and I have every right to say that, farmers are the main deciders of the entire game. They are the backbone. They are the fundamental of the entire value chain about aquaculture, especially shrimp farming. So what happened? I'll not say about others. I will give you my examples. When I came into my area, Surat, after my post graduation in aquaculture in 1994, I started my life as a small technician. Then I got a good chance in 2002, 2003 to start shrimp farming in 4 hectare. So that time, the entire area of Gujarat was very virgin, very low level of shrimp farming. So the climate was very conducive, the environment was very good. So I started with 4 pond and made very huge success in 4 pond. So what I did, 4 pond becomes 8 becomes 80. Now almost I'm doing 350. So once farmer started earning, he will not put a break. He will say, okay, let me have more, let me have more. And what happens when the farming is doing good? Then especially the feed millers, the technicians, the consultant or the medicine supplier, the input suppliers, all will come and force farmer, yes, you can do good, you can do more, you can do more. Because they want to increase their sale, they want to increase their production. They will say, okay, my God, if you started with extensive, do modified extensive, if 30 piece, go 50 piece, now 100 piece. And everybody will motivate farmers to do more, do more. And then what happens? The farmer fails, so entire system fails. So it is up to the farmer who needs to understand where to stop. That is the most important thing. So that's what I'm saying, reason behind overproduction, because nothing succeeds like success. Once farmer starts making money, he will not stop easily, and the industry will also motivate him to do more. So that is the first reason why there is a sudden rise in the production. And then we have to also see, okay, shrimp farming, I have 6 pond. Next year I can make 60 ponds. But as the shrimp farming has grown, for example, in 2010, the world shrimp production somewhere was 2.2, 2.5 million ton, and in 2023 is almost 6. So 3.5 million ton has been added in 10 years. So my friend, my biggest question is that shrimp farming can be doubled in 1 year. If I am doing 10 pond, I can do 20 pond. But the way we are increasing the production, can the market grow with that pace? That's the most important thing. If the market cannot grow with that pace, then there will be a bottleneck. There will be somewhere oversupply, and then people will take advantage of that oversupply. And especially in this situation where there is a global recession, everywhere there is an economic issue. And who is eating the shrimp? If you see the world shrimp producer, whether it's India, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Iran, everywhere, we have only two biggest market, that is USA and China, followed by Europe. From India, if you say 65% goes to USA, 20% goes to China, and then 10 to 15% goes to Europe and the rest of the world. So, out of 200 nations, the major nations which are consuming shrimp is America and China. So, if you imagine 50, 60 countries start producing shrimp and there is only two countries consuming, so definitely there will be an oversupply mode. So, this is where not only farmers, those who are listening this presentation, I think I'm part of this group. I think Future Group and TCRS, we are highly knowledgeable technicians, farmers, and industry people in this group. Those who are listening to me. So, my appeal is to everybody that this angle has to be studied. That we can double, triple the production, no problem. But where is the market? Will the market accept it? That is the main thing we need to understand. So this slide clearly says that what is the international traded shrimp and how much shrimp the world is producing. Everybody knows world is producing 6 million ton, but what is the shrimp which has been marketed, which has been globally traded? It is hardly 2.8. And out of this 2.8, 2.2, 2.3 ton is on means like 80% is been produced only by Ecuador and India. So what will happen to the fate of these shrimp producing nations? This definitely they will struggle to sell. So, as this slide clearly shows, there's no point being fast in production when the market will go with a very slow pace. That's why I've given an example that if you produce at the rocket pace and then the market moves like a snail story, so definitely there will be an overproduction mode. So, this is where we need to be very careful and cautious. And as I said, what happens overproduction? You know, why it affects farmer? Overproduction means disruption into the supply chain. More supply, less demand. So overproduction also then what happens? It reduces the profit of the farmer. Nobody should forget that we are not doing a consumer other products. We are dealing with the livestock. So we need a healthy margin to survive. So if overproduction is there, definitely the price realization will be very less. The margins will be very thin to play. So farmers will be at very risk. And once overproduction start means we are adding so much of food, so much of shrimp feed that also increases the organic load into the pond, our farm area and the surrounding area. So that also attracts pathogen. So overproduction is always a problematic situation and a situation of concern for each and everybody. So then who really gets benefited out of overproduction mode? Because we need to here understand that are we really working for our growth of the farming, growth of the nation, or we are only just concerned about the profit and growth of an individual? If we are also concerned about profit of an individual, but at what cost? Because if you see that I have given a illustration of three people, like farmer, if he is self-centric, he will always think that how much he can produce more and how much he can make profit. Whereas the input suppliers, seed, feed, healthcare products, they will think that how much product they can push to the farmers so they can make the profit. So please listen carefully. Here farmers think that how much he can produce, how much more he can produce to make money. The input suppliers will think how much more feed, seed, medicine, everything can be sold to farmers so they make more profit. And then the processors, the buyers, the consumers, they will think that how cheap, how good quality, how well certified, cost effective product they can get. So spread the market and increase their profit margin. So it's a complete two opposite perspective of the industry. Farmers think that to produce more to make more profit, and a buyer think that's to buy more at a less price to make money. So this is what you have to very very well understand, that who will benefit out of this. So in this chart, I am saying that there are two aspects of the flow of the profits. When I have seen in 2002, 2003, when there was a short supply, there was a huge shortfall of shrimp, and even farmers made 200, 300% of profit. I still remember my cost of production was $3, and the farm gate prices was $6, $7. But in today's scenario, when the margin is very thin, I am giving that, whatever the market is offering to a processor will consider his expenses, consider his profit, and pass on to the farmer. So what is left with farmer? He's already paid for the seed. He already paid for the feed. He's already paying for the healthcare products. He's already paying for his land. So everything is already been done. So if he gets a price which is below his cost of production or nearing to his cost of production, so he will be in a very difficult situation. So if you see the flow of profit in overproduction, farmer is at the very difficult and receiving end. And if you see the reverse condition, if there is a shortfall, the farmer is king. Everybody will come to his farm to buy at a price which he commands or he demands. So it is very, very important for a shrimp farmer to understand how he can balance. So what farmers should do, first of all, I am a farmer, so that's what I'm giving my perspective. Farmers should not correlate overproduction with profit. By no means, I'm telling you, by no means. You might be seeing my social media post that I'm producing only 3-ton monodon with 100 gram size. Yeah, LinkedIn, you might have seen my post. See, my intention to put such post is only to make my friends in the industry people that aware. No need to produce 10 ton or 20 ton per hectare and not make any money. For whom? For whom you want to do that? Nothing, you know. So I stopped, now if I'm doing monodon, I'm doing only 5 piece. Let it go to a big size. Right now, my cost of production for monodon at such an 100 gram is hardly $5 to $6, but I'm getting $15 price. So why to make a 50 cent and produce 10 ton and end up earning only $5,000, where I can still produce with a healthy environment only 3 ton and still make $5,000. So it is very, very important for farmers to understand where he can make profit. Nothing to do with overproduction. There's no point if I'm producing 50 ton per hectare. Question is that whether I am making money, I am happy doing farming. And he can only produce, the farmer can only produce if he has a positive carrying capacity at his farm. And in next slide, I'm going to explain what is positive carrying capacity. See, this is a simple example, what is carrying capacity? The amount of biomass where a unit area of water can hold without any adverse effect, stress to the shrimp. That is the simple definition of a carrying capacity. And I have seen in last 30 years, 1.5 to 2 ton, even without aerator or a simple 2 aerators is sufficient to for the quantity for 1 hectare to grow shrimp very stress-free. Fantastic, they will grow. Even believe me, if you have a positive carrying capacity where your oxygen level are always above 5, your water quality is always fantastic. I have seen the immunity of the shrimp is so strong, whether right, left, or wherever the disease comes and go, it will not affect. Even the COVID has given a very big learning to each and everybody, that if someone is very fit and fine, perfect, and if his health is very good, his immunity is good, even you will not have this COVID infection. So same is in shrimp. Your shrimp in the pond is happy, healthy, stress-free. Even you can do away with the disease. No disease can come and affect it. I have seen it very practically. When you produce more than 6, 7 ton, 8 ton per hectare, How good you put aerators and all. There is in 24 hours, there is some point where the shrimp will come in stress for 1 hour, 2 hour, and that itself is sufficient for the shrimp to get infected with virus or bacteria. So do not burden your ponds with negative carrying capacity and expect that you will produce very good and more. So I said, yes, profit attracts problem, as I said earlier about this slide. So what is the major reason of downfall? I'll give a good example of India. India is in 1988 when the commercial seed production has started. Everybody has made initially good profit in monodon era, and everybody wanted to do more. But because of the seed quality, especially there was no SPF, no broodstock properly, and we suffered a lot. So to support the shrimp farming, we have imported some seeds from shrimp farming nations. And what happened? What spot came? And India, till monodon era, we never produced more than 75, 80,000 ton. Then there was a huge cry and demand for introduction of exotic species. So we introduced Venami in India in 2010. And after that, there was a Venami tsunami. Everybody lips and bound. Everybody made and minted money. Because here, everybody should understand when even in the early monodon era, 88 to 2009, India, nobody used to practice more than 10 piece or 12 piece or 15 piece. So everything was within carrying capacity. So the problem was only the quality of the seed. But the moment SPF Venami came into India, you see, you don't believe me, but you study the pattern. What happened in Thailand? 6, 7 years, there is a downfall. China, 6, 7 year downfall. In India also, what happened? 2010 it came, 13 people understood whatever thing, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 years, boom. Then 17, 18 onwards, we have seen a downfall. Now there are some certain areas, certain pockets in India where Venami is absolutely not growing. So people are trying to revive back the monodon. So this is what I'm telling, the reason of downfall. Because a lot of the people, a lot of the technicians, they think that only technology is growing the shrimp. I'm very sorry, I'm not against technology. But as a practitioner, as a shrimp farmer, I have spent more than 22, 25 years on the farm. So there are some natural factors. There are carrying capacity, which is more than the technique and technology. So nature support cannot be minimized or neglected. So those who are thinking only technology or intensification is the solution for shrimp farming survival is absolutely wrong. You should learn from the example of Ecuador. See, if technique and technology is the mainstay, then there should Thailand or other countries should be the #1 producer in the world. Because I'm using the word name Thailand because we all learn shrimp farming from Thailand. It's a mother of all shrimp farming nations. So only technology is responsible for the growth factor. Then Ecuador should not be #1. We should be the #1. But though we have such a huge technique and technology, then also our farming failure is 50% high. That is where each and every technician who is listening to my presentation as a farmer should understand. Only technique and technology will not grow the shrimp. We need to also understand the environmental and the carrying capacity factors. So this is very important. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you try to push, whenever you try to produce more, the nature will itself will give up, and that has become the reason of downfall. So Asian downfall and the rise of Ecuador is a clear-cut example for everybody to understand. So what are the major culture issues? Still, there is quality of seed. It's been compromised. There is always a less survival, slow growth. There is because of high organic loads into the incoming water in the old ponds, the abrupt blooms. There are issues of many gill choking, white gut, white feces, body deformities. But still, I will rate in India, still the biggest damager is white spot. Still 50% of farmers, those who are losing the crop, mostly comes from the white spot. And why I'm saying the organic load fuels the pathogen? Because it is very clear, it's very evident. When you start producing shrimp, I will tell you an example that when I started shrimp farming in first pond, nothing happened because the soil was so virgin. I just dug a pond, fill the water, and release the seed. The survival was fantastic. The upper count was 100. But what happened? When you produce 5 ton, means you are already adding 7.5 ton of feed. So in successive few years, you are piling up so much huge organic loads into your own soil. your own water into your own farm. And imagine when the entire area, when you have 700 ponds, and all that producing so much shrimp and so much FCR, so much feed has been flushed into the same creek. So don't you think there is a huge organic load? And when you feed shrimp for the growth, the same way as when you release this organic load in the form of water or soil or anything, so you are fueling the pathogen in your neighborhood. So that is where I say that organic load, they fuel the pathogen. And here I will give you a classic example of Ecuador. People are saying Ecuador is doing very good. Even I am saying Ecuador is doing very good. But it's a alarming situation in Ecuador right now, because Ecuador is doing the same thing what India has done. India monodon era, the production was hardly 75,000, 85,000 tons. So the overall feed market was 150,000 tons. So now today is 1.6 million ton. Ecuador is feed market is now 1.8 million ton. Imagine 1,000 times they are putting the feed into the same waters. So don't you think that organic load will attract the disease? Definitely they are going to attract the disease. In coming time, you will see there will be huge problems in Ecuador if they don't control their production. Because in 2010, their production was 100,000 ton and the feed usage was 150,000 ton. But now you see they are producing 1.2 million and their feed requirement is 1.8 million. So same area, same water bodies can you think 1,000 times the organic load they will accumulate, they will oxidize it. So it will come back in the form of disease. So it is a very alarm situation for those who are producing more. So what is the basic law of commerce? The demand and supply. If you only, our focus is only to produce more and more, definitely we are going to flood the market and there will be no demand. And no demand means there will be a problem in sales and definitely it will affect profit and profitability at the farming level. So this is a simple graph I'm going to present. Overproduction fate. What happens? If you see the history of shrimp farming, everybody started with extensive. People made good money in extensive, so they moved to semi-intensive with technological support. Then they adopted intensive. Now people are going super intensives. Then what will happen? Boom, they will fall. Imagine what happened in Asia. When I opposed first time, say don't use polyline pond, it is not going to be good. So people laughed at me. Today, what is the fate of polyline ponds? Everybody in India has removed polyline ponds. Lot of people in Asia has removed the polyline ponds, especially after post EHP. I remember when I said in 2011, black is still beautiful, or do Venami the tiger way. People laughed at me. They said, he's a crazy. Everybody is producing 20 ton, 30 ton, 40 ton. He's talking about producing low. But I'm telling you, whether it is a rise and fall of monodon, or either again Venami introduction, the Venami tsunami, or again monodon is coming back. But I can tell you very proudly, I might have not made million or billions of rupees, but as a farming success, as a farmer, I'm very proud that I'm one of the most successful shrimp farmer. I have never ever lost money in shrimp farming. So that is the criteria. You know, farmers' biggest responsibility is that he should stay in the game. He should not lose the money. He should not lose the game. If you lose the game, you are out of the business, and it's very difficult that life will give you a second chance. And if farmer is not success, I think the industry will definitely not be in success. So what farmer should do, you know, what farmer should do, and this is a very interesting slide. I think I don't know how much people are able to see, but this is a slide. Sander actually is from Kontali. He has presented this slide, and I was very happy to see this slide. He has seen that Asian consumption of shrimp. See, a lot of people they mislead, or maybe they don't understand properly when somebody says that per capita seafood consumption. See, per capita seafood consumption has nothing to do with shrimp farming. Maybe some countries there is a per capita seafood consumption is 100 kilo or 112 kilo, Japan, Seychelles, or all other countries. But what is the per capita shrimp consumption, which actually shrimp farming industry people should be more concerned about that. So here Kontali, they said in Asia the shrimp farming per capita consumption is less than 500 gram. So imagine, my friends, my brothers, my shrimp farmers, if we all together, right from Iran to Thailand, all Asia Pacific, all the shrimp farmers will dedicate our time, will dedicate our some funds and money to push this into our domestic consumption. Imagine, even if 100 gram extra, the present per capita consumption we can add, we can consume in Asia another 1 million ton. I'm not talking about India. See, 2016-17 onwards, I'm the one who single-handedly crying for domestic market consumption, because that I will come into the slide, but this is a very, very, very important for each and everybody. See, all shrimp farming nations should come together to have a common minimum program to find. Firstly, we have to study what are our markets, where we are lacking, how we can add or reinvent into the present market. Second thing, we should look for the new countries, new market development. And thirdly, we should look for our domestic market consumption. So I know those who are listening me into a small country like Iran, yeah, maybe somewhere, some other Sri Lanka. I know they're small countries, their population is small, so they will not. But at least you start, you inculcate this habit right now. So maybe another 5 year, 10 year, or 20 years, your next generation shrimp farmers will benefit out of that. But somewhere we need to start. And India, as far as India is concerned, we have 1.4 billion population. And latest data shows that 75% population of India is non-vegetarian. Imagine if they just eat 1 kilo shrimp per year, 1 kilo shrimp per year, 1 million ton can be consumed. And after 4 or 5 years of my hard work in my area, I'm telling you, yes, there is a huge demand. Today, my Jingalala is a success story. I'm not saying that I want to be the number one domestic market player, but I have led with an example. See, when I can start a restaurant as a shrimp farmer, and if this restaurant is still making 15% profit for me per month, means there is a potential. There is a huge potential that we all shrimp farmers together should invest our time and money for the future of the markets. And here is a comparison of cost of production. Why I'm saying this? Because a lot of people in the world over, they are saying, oh, no, India should be as efficient as Ecuador. India should learn to produce more shrimp so they can reduce the cost of production. Like for example, those who are listening to me in Iran, they are saying, oh, increase the production so you can reduce your cost of production, increase the efficiency. That's where I have given this Manami comparison and monodon comparison. Firstly, after 10 years of my deep study in Ecuador, it is next to impossible to match their cost of production. They are almost $1 to $1.50 cheaper than us in most of the count, which are competitive, 40, 50, 60 count. We cannot match their efficiency. Plus, their farming success is 99%. 99 because there is no failure, there is no disease to their local broodstock. Imagine India with 45% farm failure and so much cost increase. We cannot produce 40, 50 count, 60 count at their efficient level. So there is no way. See, I'm given a calculation. This is our own calculation of my farm. 70 count, there is a red line. Up to 40, 50 count, there is a red line. 40, 30, 25 is an orange line, means I can survive. But if I can produce 20 count, means 50 gram Venami, I can make $1.8. And today's ongoing situation, it is impossible, it's next to impossible to produce a 20 count with such a high stocking density. No. And whatever, if I produce 100 ton per hectare also, believe me, my friends, if I produce 100 ton per hectare, 60, 70 count, I cannot sell it the offer, what the Ecuador is offering to the market. No. Nobody care for your effort and sentiments. Please, market wants cheaper products. And if it is available, they will go for the cheaper product. They will go for cost efficient product. Nobody will think that, oh my God, this farmer is dwelling day and day night and we should give him $2 more. Nobody is going to do that. Nobody is going to do that. So see this slide carefully. And now I have also reverting back to monodon. So monodon slides also I have given 40 count monodon, small monodon, there is no market. Up to 30 count, there is no market. And domestic, impossible. Because even domestic market, people need cheaper shrimp. So monodon itself, I'll tell you a simple cost. $5 is for 1000 PL, Venami. And monodon, $15 per thousand. 300 times more the cost of the PL. How you can produce the small shrimp? You cannot produce. So if you see my last year's 3 years data of monodon, 30 count is orange, I am surviving. 25 count, I am making $1. But see, 15 count and 10 count, if I am making 15 count, 75 gram and 100 gram, I am making $8 per kilo. $8 per kilo. So my friend, no point in producing 20 ton shrimp. I am happy producing 3 ton and making $20,000 profit. So that is where I'm sharing this slide to you to make you understand if somebody is saying globally that to compete Ecuador, you should produce more and become efficient. I think we are going to on a wrong side. I think here the farmer should be very careful. You cannot produce more and become efficient. It's a highly risky proposition. So then, as I said, why domestic market? See, I will quote you a brilliant example of Brazil. 3 years back, I was in Brazil. And I was surprised to see they produce 60, 70,000 ton. Now I think they are producing 100,000 ton. But zero exports. Brazil, if you see the economy of Brazil, nobody will believe that they are consuming internally 100,000 tons of shrimp. So that's the biggest example. If Brazil can eat all their production into the domestic market, so why not India? That is the biggest thing. And what kind of a safety it is? God forbid, if something happen, again something disaster disease like COVID, again if there is a shutdown, again there is a huge issue of transportation or the global marketing, what is going to happen? Where is the safety? So if you see domestic market, whatever happens, if the borders are closed, then also people need food to survive. So domestic market, if there is domestic market, the shrimp farmer will have extra safety, extra support from the domestic market. See, when India can have a boom of green revolution and India can become self-sufficient in grains and food grains, then India can become self-sufficient. Once it was nowhere near the milk production. Now it is one of the leading milk producer in the world. So we call it as a white revolution. So when we are one of the number one, number two producers of shrimp and fishes in the world, why there can't be a blue revolution in the domestic market? So I'm a big voice for domestic market because it supports farmers in crash harvest. It can take care of the economic crisis. It can take care of everything. It can be biggest shock absorbing or maybe loss absorbing section for the farmers. And I'm thinking if India, if how many Indians are listening, I don't know, but if anybody from India they are listening, I think we all should put our energy and effort and time to. I know it's not an easy job. It's not going to happen in 1 year or 2 years because I started Jingalala in 2017 concept and 2019 I started with a restaurant and all. It took me 4 years to understand the and to acquire the trade skills. But today I'm very proud. If I'm surviving, there can be many more examples like Manoj Sharma in India. Even imagine we think of 50, 60,000 farmers. If 10,000 farmers copy my Jingalala kind of work, imagine 10,000 outlets selling and promoting domestic shrimp. It will be a huge success. It will be a huge success. So here it is, a small concept of Jingalala. The vision for domestic market, fresh from our pond to your plate concept. You could see I started with 40 seating capacity. Now Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a huge waiting list. So I have shifted to the first floor with double the carpet area, doing so good, wonderful. You could see such a mouth-watering all regional cuisines from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Andhra Pradesh to Assam, all the local cuisine. Even I have many Oriental dishes from Thailand, Malaysia, some Italian, everything is running fantastic. People are loving it. And post-COVID, in second wave, we also started marketing the package medium, large, jumbo. Most of the people in India, especially the besides the coastline, the hinterline, a lot of people even they have not seen the shrimp. If you go to Kashmir side, if you go to Punjab, Punjab recently has picked up in shrimp farming. But I'm talking about 3 4 years when I started this thing. Very few people in the hinterland was even not aware about shrimp farming. But today it's catching up. People are loving it. People are eating it. So definitely, once people will start eating it, they will also buy shrimps to cook at their home like chicken and mutton. So definitely, it will grow. So last but not the least, I think it is in our hands, especially the farmers and the entire people who are into the value chain of shrimp farming. We should lose control over market, or we should adapt over the market. If you lose control over the market, definitely you'll go out of the business. And if you learn to adapt over the market, you will definitely survive and then you will success. So choice is yours. Whether you want to surrender to the market or you want to adapt. And so what is my take home message? So farmers, remember, overproduction or oversupply. First of all, you will first go out of the business. The farmer will go out of the business, and then slowly the people who are in the value chain, they have to adopt, or they will also slowly go out of the value chain. There are no, in my dictionary, there are no major rules. There is single rule that if farmer survives, then only the aquaculture industry survives. Whether it's a fish or shrimp, if farmer stays in the game, the industry stays. And farmers should very clearly remember only technology, only high tech system doesn't grow the shrimp. There is an equal contribution of nature, environment, your carrying capacity, and you should also start studying and believing in that. And last not the least, shrimp farmers should actually work for their profitability, their survival. If you survive, next comes the family, next comes the nation. So just don't produce to uproot the market. Just don't come into this greedy ideas of production, producing more and to make more money. You should only produce where you can make profit. That is very clear cut message from me. And last but not the least, why I gave the title Overproduction, Good, Bad, and Ugly. So, good, after listening to my presentation, definitely overproduction, oversupply of shrimp can be good for the consumers, can be good for the retailer and marketeers, can be good for the processors, but definitely it is very bad for the input suppliers because directly it is going to get the response from farmers. And why I'm saying it is ugly, because overproduction, it will be a very ugly or very difficult situation for farmers because they need to shut down the farming because they don't earn. Some people will definitely go out of the business, somebody will become bankrupt. That's where I'm saying overproduction is good, bad, and ugly. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you, Sharam Dadar and TCRS, for inviting me for such a thought provoking presentation. God bless you all. Thank you. Happy shrimp farming.
Well,
Hello.
thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much for your nice presentation.
Thank you.
Anybody have question? You can type your question in the chat box. Yeah, I think we have a question by Sunhil. Yeah, do you see, Dr. Sharma? Do you see the question in the chat
Mm,
box?
but there are many. If you can read out one by one, I can answer.
Anybody if have question? Please raise your hand to get access. Okay. Yara Rama Kiran. Please enable your microphone and ask your question.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, now you are
Yeah,
audible.
please ask your question.
Sir, with the currently available genetic lines of Vaname, and if we go with
Mm-hmm.
similar stock intensities, comparable to Tiger, like 10 pieces or 5
Mm-hmm.
pieces, is it possible to
Mm-hmm.
go 100 grams Vaname shrimp, sir?
I did Vanami and still I'm continuing doing Vanami, but there are different growth line and different potential to grow. I have seen they happily grow up to the max I have produced is 17, 19 count with 10 piece stocking density. But remember, Vanami, you are from India?
Yes, sir.
So
I'm from India, sir.
recently Vanami I have seen. Vanami is very sensitive to summer temperature, especially high temperature and high organic load and high Vibrio is it becomes very disaster for Vanami. But if you keep your Vibrio under check, I think with low stocking density, you can reach 20 count. But 100 gram, I don't think when any genetic line has that potential to grow. I have never done that. I tried maximum in 180 days. I have reached up to 18, 19 count Vanami with 10 piece stocking density for sure.
Thank
That
you,
is
sir.
my experience.
Okay, Yara Rama, did you get your response? Did you get your answer?
Yeah, I got my answer,
Okay.
and yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Subrata, please enable your microphone.
I think my good friend Paramveer Singh has asked a question: how we can improve the domestic market of shrimp in northern India? Because I know Paramveer Singh. Are you listening to me, Paramveer?
Hello, Manojji, can you
Huh,
hear me?
Paramveer?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
yes, Subrata, please
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
ask your
yeah.
question.
Yes. Thank you, Manojji, for the insightful presentation. I have a question. I'm from India, so I have a question regarding what government is doing, like some kind of effort from the government side, like when there is a contrast between you are saying domestic consumption is still less. So, what are the efforts from the government side? If you can share some of the insights, if you have any.
See, Subrata, last 10 years, especially with this new government and special formation of ministry, see, they have given an exorbitant package called Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which is 20,050 crore. And after that, there is a very strong and positive momentum in the system. And I'm been very lucky that I've been into some top forums and committees in India, especially with governments also. I'm into some MPEDA and also with Commerce Steering Committee. So I've been interacting with top officials and ministers, and I can assure you that they have understood the difficulties what farmers are facing. So there is a positive movement, and you could see the way the government of India Fisheries Department is also social media. They are posting so many things about making shrimp curries, fish curries, domestic and all. But Subrata, I think we farmer and we as an industry, so much we cannot expect from the government, because shrimp is also not only industry who's running the economy of the government. Because there are so many aspects. If they will support shrimp, some others will pop up and they will cry. So I think if you see the Amul model, or if you see the NECC Sunday or yeah Monday, I think the farmers, they have shelled out some funds and made a group of promotion. I think imagine, Subrata, we have 150,000 hectares in India. If they give 1,000 rupees also per hectare, to contribute to the promotion of the domestic market. That can change. That can really change the scene.
Yes.
I think too much expectation from government. See, we can only expect government some liberalization in policy and push, but rules regulation. But we cannot expect that government will stand behind you and throw billions of millions of money to promote your food, because we need to do that aspect. I think, and it is a very clear understanding that we farmers should come together. See, nobody will come to our help. We need to come together. See, last 4 5 years, Subrata, I'm single-handedly crying for domestic market. In each and every platform I'm pitching my voice for domestic market. Now it's the wheel is started moving, and I'm very positive. In another 10 years, take my note. Already we have reached 1,50,000 ton consumption domestically. Another 2 3 years or 4 years down the line, surely we will consume 4 lakh ton, and that will be a big support for the industry. That is going to be a big support for the farmers. I promise you on that.
Thank you, Manoj. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you again for your response. Okay, let's go to Zul, if I pronounce it correctly. Let's see. Okay, please enable your microphone, Zul. I don't know whether I pronounce it correctly or not, but Zul, if you hear me, please enable your microphone. Shabir Shums. Okay, let's go to you. If you hear me, please enable your microphone, ask your question. Shabir Shums. Okay, if you are not able to ask your question,
Right. Good evening, doctor.
You have a very good evening.
yeah, good evening to you.
This is Shabir. I'm a farmer from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Currently, doctor, the situation in Sri Lanka is disastrous when it comes to growing vaname, because
Mm-hmm.
EHP is affected and too many farmers are affected due to this scenario. And when it comes to growing monodon, we just have only one brooder that has SPF monodon.
Mm-hmm.
And now the current situation is in a huge disaster. So, doctor, do you think that it's viable to go back to wild monodon and
Mm-hmm.
producing less counts, or trying to stick to SPF monodon?
Oh, you are asking me. You are asking me such a uh, political question. No, but Shabir,
Yes, yes,
uh,
doctor.
I think we have passed that age. I still remember. I'm 54 now. I still remember when I was school. I used to drink tap water directly
Yeah,
from the school. Tap water. I
yeah,
used to,
yeah.
but now we have used to mineral water. We used to become packaging water drinking. So if
True.
we'll go back to wild, see, I think. Our shrimp farming phase has such a critical phase that I or no one should recommend going back to the wild stock.
Yes, yes, yes.
It will be a disaster. It will be a disaster.
Very true. Very true.
So
Doctor,
on this
even in
platform, see, because
yes,
even
doctor.
see, EHP is not a big issue, Shabir.
Yeah,
You can take my contact number. You can be in touch with me. I will give you some tips to how you can overcome the EHP issues. And I think
thank you.
if you go with Vanami monodon, I think monodon is not having that EHP. It is very resistant to EHP. So
Yes,
I think Sri Lanka is very new. I think you have a very pristine, very crystal clear waters. I think you need to adopt and change some management techniques as per your suitability. And if you want, be in touch with me. I can definitely help you and guide you on that.
definitely, definitely, doctor. And so, the doctor, do you think that it's viable to grow vaname in very less counts? I mean, like 10 pieces, 20 pieces per square meter.
My brother, I'm always an advocate of big. I always say
Low,
bigger is
low,
better.
low stocking density.
I always
I've
say
been
bigger is
following you,
better.
doctor, for the
Whether
last
today
couple of years.
also, yeah, today also, whether I produce Vanami or I produce Monodon, I produce 50 gram plus only. So
Yes.
I don't know. I don't come into the market trends when people say me that, no, who's going to buy? If everybody is going to produce more, who's going to buy? But I'm producing from last 15 years and I'm still making money. I think the market has not affected me. Today also when I'm talking to you, I have 300 ton to harvest 15 count monodon and there is advance booking for it. So I think I don't go into that nonsense crap that the world is only for 50, 60 count. Nobody will do this. I don't go to get into that.
Very
So
true. Very true.
through your question, I am also still appealing that you do, Sabir, everything you do just to make profit. If he only profit will make you survive. So do whatever, Shabir, where you can convert your farm into profitability.
Very true. Very true.
What suits you, you do. Don't come into the marketing gimmicks. It's of no use.
Very true. Very true. So, doctor, just this last question: how many pieces do you think it's the best to stock when it comes to stocking density? Even when we are doing SPF vaname,
It all depends upon
the
your
carrying
culture
capacity.
system and your water system. What is your
Yes.
size of the pond? Is your depth?
Yes.
What is your reservoir? How much settlement or filtration you have? We have to
Yes.
assess your carrying capacity. But still, I think the best is 10 piece. You go for monodon or venami, stock 10 piece. Wonderful. They will grow happily without any stress, without any problem.
Yes. Yes. Yes, doctor. Very true, doctor.
Yeah, many those who want to sell more inputs will not be in align with my idea of stocking less. But but
Yeah.
I'm not worried about anything because I
Me
always
too.
love to motivate and talk to my farmers and raise a farmer voice. There are very
Yes.
few in the world who stand with the farmers. So I'm one of them. Whether people call me crazy, I'm happy to listen to them. No problem. But because I have a simple understanding, farmer survives, then only the industry survives. Do you
Very
agree with
true.
me? If
Yes.
there is
Yes.
no farmer, then where the feed company will do? What the processes are going to do?
Very true, doctor. I agree with you because end of the day, the farm has to survive for the whole industry to survive.
Yeah, they are the fundamentals. The farmers should survive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, thank you
Anyway,
both, Shabir and
all my friends, thank
yes,
you. Even
Okay.
my
yeah.
family is watching at me
Uh,
because
I
we have
think
to go out for
Pejman
dinner.
Meh. Let's go to Pejman Meh's question.
Yes,
Yeah, if you
yes.
hear me, start your question.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, about your very, very insightful presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm Payman from Iran, and I'm production manager of feed company. Shrimp feed
Mm-hmm.
commercial company. I want to ask you about
Yes.
extruded extruded shrimp feed. You are as a big
Mm.
farmer, shrimp farmer. What's your opinion about extruded fish feed, not plated? Do you think it's can change the price of the feed, price of commercial feed? Can change the FCR of commercial feed for shrimps?
See, I have used pillated normal feed. I have used extruded shrimp feed, but honestly, it all depend upon how you adopt your feeding management. For example, those who really want to have this answer, you can go on Google and find my presentation feeding the right way, shrimp farming feeding the right way. I have given 50 slides only on feeding, exclusively on feeding management. So for example, if you have a very good feed, my friend, very good, well nutrition, well extruded, well made feed, but if farmer doesn't know how to feed the shrimp, if he feeds less or if he feeds excess, then it will affect his growth and performance. So definitely, good feed makes a difference. But when you have a good feed, but if it's also practiced with a very perfect feeding management, then only you will get a enhanced result out of that. So Definitely, I have seen good growth with pelleted feed also, and even extruded feed also. It will help, especially with the water capacity, water retention capacity. You know that
Okay.
retention time is good in extruded
Yes,
feed.
yes, of course. Yes, of course, of course. And Mr.
Yeah,
Sharma,
it's
one
all depend.
more.
It is all mostly depend upon your feeding management. I think this
Yes.
extruded feed, manual feeding versus auto feeding, they're most of things. So if you really your feed company, if you really want to improve your performance, you should also guide farmers on the effective and efficient way of feeding management, and that will give you an extraordinary results.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you for advice. And once again, during your visit to Iran, do you see monodon condition?
Mhm.
Do you see we have condition for culturing monodon, Peneus monodon farming? Can we do it in Iran?
See, my friend. I think my good friend Ismaili is also here in this conference. Ismaili has invited me 2 3 times before. I love Iran, especially. I love your food and your hospitality. Whenever I have come, it's an excellent. You are very lovely people. But I think Iran right now is not about the species. What I have seen is that your huge complexes 2000, 4000, 5000 hectare complexes with water quality management, I think that is has become a most critical part of your success story. I think Iran needs to uh, come up with a better management practices of such huge complexes. I think Iran has all the good facility, good soil, good weather to grow the shrimp, but they should need to learn the measures of biosecurity. The biosecurity management will change the game in Iran. I think the farmers are very smart, good, but right now also whatever the ongoing problem, disease problem is going in Iran, I think that can be only addressed with a proper biosecurity management. I think biosecurity management is the limiting factor in Iran. I think culturing shrimp is not difficult if you really manage the biosecurity issues. Biosecurity means the control over your input, incoming waters, the treatment of the waters, and having isolated ponds. Then only you can grow your shrimp very disease free.
Thank you. I think so. Thank you. Thank you for your answers.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pejmane, for your question, and thank you, Doctor, for your response. Let's go to Kishore. Okay, if you hear me, you have the access to enable your microphone, please.
On and off. Hi, Manoj sir. This is Kishore.
Hi, Kishore.
Sir, first of all, your efforts are remarkable. I really admire you because I started my career from past 11 years. You speak about farmers because you are also one of the farmer in that aspect. Sir, I basically belongs to Andhra Pradesh. I seen that you know that I mean you know very well about the Andhra Pradesh that 70% production is going on in Andhra Pradesh only.
Yes.
But well, what I seen that there's no proper production which you are expecting. I mean, as you said that the low density, low pieces per square meter, but the Andhra Pradesh people are, I mean, Andhra Pradesh farmers are not aware about the seriousness of the scenario of right now the aspect. So I'm not criticizing Andhra Pradesh farmers because I really respect of all the farmers in the industry, but how far we are awareing these people about low stock density so far, sir, from your side? Because I came to know there's no person right now who was talking about this low stock density because we know the scenario of seriousness of disease impact and all. So how far we are going to be subject these things in future, sir?
So, Kishore, my answer would be very straight and simple to you because I have seen shrimp farming in 3 decades. See,
Yeah.
nobody will go 2 step back if he doesn't see a problem. You understand my point?
Yeah, yes.
So those who are doing good in Andhra Pradesh, those farmers are basically doing good. They will continue doing what they are continuing. My message of correction and taking two step back is to those farmers, those who are struggling, those who are not making profit, those who are struggling to produce. So my message is to them. See, someone who is still producing 20, 30 ton in Andhra Pradesh with polyline, God bless him. God bless him. But in worst case scenario, if something happened wrongs to him, he should not quit the business. He should have an option to correct himself. You understand my point?
Got it, sir. Got it. Clear.
See, Kishore, today I'll tell you with a simple yardstick. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, seed is just 30 paisa.
Yes.
And in Gujarat, the seed is double cost 60 paisa because of the air freight and other. So seed cost in Andhra Pradesh is one of the most, we will say not cheap word I will not use. I will use cost effective because
Convenient.
100% hatcheries are there.
Yes. Yes.
So electricity is 3 rupees per unit. Feed is given at a cost of the dealer. So Andhra Pradesh farmers, if they can see, if somebody wants to produce more, Kishore, he will stock
Yeah.
more, but he has to produce 50 count, 60 count only, na. So my question is that if you are producing 10 ton, it's 60 count, you are making only 50 rupees a kilo profit. Only 5 lakh rupees per pound you are making, and but you are disturbing your whole carrying capacity. So my game is different. I am producing 2 ton, I'm still making 5 lakh rupees. So at the end of the day, how much profit you are making is more important rather than how much you are producing. If this a normal farmer understand, then he will not overload this production. No, see, today if India wants to compete Ecuador, we can also produce 2 million tons. See, producing 2 million ton shrimp is not a big deal. We have that much resources. We have that much talented technicians. We have that much capacity to produce more. But where we are going to sell it? That's the biggest question. No. So my point is that today, when I'm talking to you, still we are producing 9 lakh ton. But if the 60% farmer or 80% farmer is not making money even by producing 9 lakh ton, so take 2 step back, produce 5 lakh ton, and everybody should make money. Why we should be in the race that who is number 1 and number 2?
Yes.
That is my appeal. I am not against of intensification. See, lot of people ask me, Doctor, why you are against of intensification? No, Baba, I am not against intensification technology. But what is the point in buying a Ferrari and trying to drive in a Bhimavaram city where you
Absolutely.
cannot enjoy?
Yes.
You cannot enjoy, no, my brother.
Yes.
So if you want to, I'm not against Ferrari, but you go to then race circuit, no, drive there, enjoy there. But here what will happen? In Bhimavaram road or my Surat road, you will bring Ferrari 4 crore rupees. You will waste money because you cannot drive more than 40 speed. If you drive to more than 40 speed, you will kill 100 people and you will end up into the jail. So that is my submission. When
Yes.
you cannot produce more and carry your success, what is the point in producing more? See, today, the great leaders and great technicians like Robin McIntosh, he has recently said the carrying capacity is the mother of all success. Then we should believe him. The man who has changed the face of the entire shrimp farming world has today at this juncture of life has accepted that carrying capacity is the main stay for the farmer's success. So we should believe in that. I've been saying this from last 10, 20 years.
Yes, sir.
So my good friend, I think this is enough question. I think can I take your permission because I need to attend some other program.
Yeah, there's no problem if you don't have any time. We can
But no,
postpone the
it's not at that
questions
time. But
to
if
the.
is there any important 1 or 2 question? Just finish fast. I'll give you another 5 minutes. Okay.
Yes, we have just one another question. Paramveer Singh. If you hear me, please enable your microphone. Paramveer, you can ask
Sir,
your question.
good evening, Manoj sir. Here I am, Paramveer
Hi,
Singh.
Paramveer. How are you, my brother?
Sir, I am
Hi.
fine. Sir, my
You don't need to introduce me, Paramveer.
sir, I just want to ask one question. You know the problem that is going on in northern India. Sir, how we can improve the domestic market of shrimp? Why we which can provide the survival to the farmers? Because sir, you know the last year trend farmer doesn't get the exactly price that they invested in the farming. Now mostly 50 to 60% farm is going to be closed. So how we can improve the domestic market so we can sell their product in the local area, at least they should survive. So what are the strategies that in your mindset that we can address to the farmers that they can produce in a such a quantity, then they can sell in the domestic market, and how they will improve the domestic markets for their own survival?
Paramveer saying, thank you so much for this question. This is what actually I was explaining entire my presentation. See, I was the first when Dr. Reddy was the in charge of Rohtak Center in 2013. We demonstrated shrimp farming in Los Inland Saline in Haryana, right, Paramveer? That was only 2-3 acres. But 2-3 acres within 5 years has become 300 acre, now 3000 acre, right? The way you have increased the production in 5 years, nowhere from 0 ton production to 10,000 ton production now, inland saline, Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan together is producing. So, my friend, one thing you have to understand, there are 3A important: availability of the shrimp, awareness of eating the shrimp, and affordability. So 3A are most important for domestic market. Availability, awareness, and acceptability, and then affordability also. So my friend, in Punjab, lot of people love fish pakoda. You go Amritsar, fish tandoori, fish pakoda. So somebody has to make an initiation to make them taste the shrimp pakoda, shrimp tandoori, shrimp like a chole curry. See, somebody has to bring that taste. See, just giving them a packet of shrimp is not going to change their value. So in India, why people laughed at me when I started Jingalala restaurant? They said, "Are you crazy? Why you want to start restaurant?" Because I know 90% of the Indians, especially off the coastline towards the hinterland, they don't know shrimp. They have never seen the shrimp. They have never seen the shrimp. So unless and until they don't know how to eat the shrimp, why they will buy the shrimp? The first thing, you should start a campaign to make them eat that shrimp. Then only they will love the shrimp. So the first impression, if they put the shrimp in their mouth and they say, "Wow, it's a beautiful," then only the craving will start. If something they put in the mouth and that tastes bad, then they will never in their life they will touch the shrimp. So that's where I understood. I studied the market, why the earlier players, those who have gone into the domestic market, has failed, because they just marketed shrimp, a packaged shrimp. Nobody knows how to eat and cook. That's the biggest problem in Punjab, Haryana, and the north region. So, my brother, you need to have some campaigns, some fish festivals, some shrimp festivals. You should you should encourage people eating the shrimp. But today I am very proud in Surat, where 90% people are vegetarian. Now today there has been a fashion that all non-vegetarian catering, even for a wedding program or a birthday program or a party, they are taking the rento chef from our restaurant. They are renting the chef from our restaurant and making a live counter for shrimp. So we need to change the habit first. We need to change habit. I'm not saying it's going to happen within 1 year or 2 years, but young guns like you, those who follow me, those who are doing excellent, people like you, Paramveer, should initiate this. So the next generation should benefit out of that. So I'm not saying, if today Manoj Sharma can give his 10, 20 years in domestic market, maybe the coming generation in 2030 or 40 will bless me. Everybody will have the good taste for the shrimp. So that is where it's a slow process, but we need to dedicate our time and money to overcome this. First start testing them, then only they will love it and they will come back to eat. That's the most important thing. Just giving them packet, giving them keeping the packet at a superstore is not going to attract anybody. Hope you understand.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for your informative presentation and, of course, very complete answers. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, all the
Thank you, my
participants.
brother. Thank you.
If you have
Is,
no
is
more
this presentation is
questions,
recorded? This
yes,
presentation
of
is
course,
recording?
it is recorded, and of
Okay.
course, by Dr. Sharam Dadgar, will be sent to all the members.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much,
Thank you
Sharam
so
ji.
much.
Thank you, TCRS. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, all the participants. Have a good night.